This actually contains two parts. What does it have? The first thing is the covering letter. Okay, so the second part is that biodata, or you also call it as CV or curriculum vitae. So you are not supposed to enter your personal details. This also is with exam point of view. But when you're applying for a job, you ought to mention your personal details. You should include all the details, like enclosures should be there, and in that enclosure this biodata can be attached. Okay. Hello everyone. I am Dr. Shalini, Professor of English, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. Today we are here to understand one of the language components prescribed by University of MYSURU for 4th SEM B.B.A. What are we going to learn today? We are going to understand how to apply for a job along with our CV. So, job application is the thing we are going to understand today. So, what is there in today's module that we are going to understand? So, we will be understanding about what is the meaning of job application and what is biodata, that is you also call it as a CV. Then, what is the format for job application along with that CV? Then what are the tips that you may have to follow when you have to apply for a job? Along with that, we are also having a sample job application. Okay, so these are the things we are going to understand in today's session. So let us begin to understand with the meaning of what is job application. Okay, so to begin with, we are going to understand the meaning as I told you. So letter written to get a job is called as a job application. So that actually the words itself tell that. Okay, so that is what we are going to understand today. Job seeker actually offers his or her candidature for that specific job which he is going to apply for. Okay, so anything that he is going to provide, any service is going to provide, and in return he is going to expect some salary. So this is what is the agreement that will happen whenever you are going to apply for a job. Okay, so it is more or less like a personal advertisement. Okay, so somebody is starting a new business or something, then they will have to give an advertisement. So similarly, if I'm going to apply for a job, that is more or less the personal advertisement. See, these are my strengths, these are my skills, so I'm providing that to you, so you have to provide me a job. So that is how I am giving an advertisement of myself to the employer. Okay, so that is what is called as the personal advertisement. So job application actually, it contains an appeal for a suitable job in which the job seeker's personal data will be given. Okay, so what is there in personal data? There. So it will have the name, address, qualification, experience, so all these, and the skills and all he has. So all these will be there in that job application. Okay, so this is the actual meaning of this job application along with CV. Okay, so this actually contains two parts. What does it have? The first thing is the covering letter. Okay, so the second part is that biodata, or you also call it as CV or curriculum vitae. So these are the things, these are the two different parts that are there in a job application. Okay, so next let us start with what is biodata, that is CV. We need to understand what will be there also. Okay, so biodata is actually a person's, it's all about a person's life. Okay, so the experience and the achievements that he has done. Okay, it represents all these personal and also the professional details in one shot. Okay, so it is actually in a specified format also. For writing, the covering letter also has a format, this biodata also has a format. Okay, so this way you are going to apply for a job. Fine. Then this is actually divided into four parts. This biodata, that is CV, is divided into four parts. First part will have the personal details, then it will have the qualifications, then experience of that person in order to apply for the job, and also some references that is going to be there. Okay, so let us understand part by part what and all is there in this job application. So first we'll understand about the covering letter. What is there in the covering letter? What is the format of this covering letter? Okay, so here to begin with, we started with the sender's address. The person who is applying, his address will be there, the covering letter I'm talking about. Okay, so then we have this date. Okay, so first it will be my name, my address, and then comes the date. Okay, this is more or less the format of a formal letter only. Okay, because you are writing it to some personal in a official level. Okay, you're not writing it for your relatives or friends, you're writing it in an official level. So this will have sender's address, that is my address if I am applying for a job. Then we will have the date. Okay, so this date actually has a prescribed format also. So there you can just write probably something like 10th May 2022. So this way the format has to be there. Okay, so this is the date here. Then we'll have this receiver's address, means to whom I am writing. Okay, so that person's designation and address will be there. Suppose I'm applying for to some HR person. Okay, so then I write the HR, then the company name, then the address of the company. So this way I have to write it there. Okay, so then we'll have this subject line. Subject line in the sense it's a kind of heading what you give to that job application. Okay, so what are you applying for? Application for the role of something like that. Okay, so candidature for the role of something like this. Okay, so to which post you are applying, that you have to write it there. Okay, then we have the salutation. Salutation, how do you address somebody? Saluting somebody. Okay, so every time I enter the class I say hello everyone. Okay, even when you go to class you will say good morning ma'am. Okay, so this way whenever you are writing in a letter, you address it as like if you are writing it for your friends, you write dear friend, somebody like that. Okay, so when you're writing it to some officers or maybe some official level, you use this respected sir or madam. So this is called as salutation. How do you address that person? Okay, so suppose you go, you talk physically, then it is different. The salutation is different. But when you come to writing a letter, it is something different. Okay, so respected sir or madam is what you write over here. Then comes the body of the letter. Body of the letter will contain all the details, it will not have this personal like experience, date of birth, everything will not be contained in the body of letter. There what has to be there is a brief introduction about yourself. Okay, so you are such and such a person, you're working somewhere. So this way you can give a brief introduction about yourself. I'll be showing you a sample of what to write in this body of letter. Okay, so then you have this complimentary clause. So what is there in this complimentary clause? I cannot just leave the class and run away. Okay, once I finish teaching, I cannot just leave the class and run away. I should tell you that the class is going to end. So that way only this letter also, there should be a hint that this letter is going to stop here. Okay, the first hint is given that the letter is going to end, and then you are going to end the letter with a signature. Okay, so complimentary clause shows that the letter is going to end. Signature shows that the letter has ended there. Okay, so this is the format of a covering letter that you write for any job application. Okay, so then you have a format for biodata also. Okay, so in which format you have to keep all the details of yours. Okay, so that is there. So after the signature, the previous slide you saw that signature, right? After that what you should write? You should include all the details, like enclosures should be there, and in that enclosure this biodata can be attached. Okay, so in that enclosure it should contain all the documents. Okay, and also the testimonials, means whatever skills you are presenting before the employer, so all that has to be put over there. So what are the documents you are going to attach? So all that has to be there. Okay, so then along with the cover letter, it has to be sent to the concerned person. Okay, so what should be there in that? What should be there in that biodata? There should be personal details, also the qualification, educational qualification, as well as maybe technical qualification if you have any. Okay, then you have some experience, that also you can mention over there. At last you have some references. Okay, so these are the things that have to be mandatorily present in biodata. Okay, so biodata is nothing but CV. Okay, so now we'll understand about few tips that you have to have whenever you are writing a covering letter or maybe you're applying for a job. Okay, so double check for grammatical accuracy and spellings. This is the most important thing. Okay, so wherever you go, English is very much essential. It is like it is blended into the system, you can say. Okay, so that way you need to keep a check on the grammatical and the spelling errors, if at all there are any. Okay, so this is very much important. Please make sure there are zero grammar errors or zero spelling mistakes in your job application, because those are the minute things that will actually project your profile in a different way to the employer. So make sure there are no grammatical mistakes. Secondly, you need to leave enough space between paragraphs so that it looks neat. Okay, so you cannot just stick everything. You're not giving an advertisement for Fevicol, isn't it? You should not stick everything. You need to give enough space. There should be proper spacing for it to look very neat. Okay, so you can observe here only. Had I not left this place in between, okay, if at all there is no place in between, how haphazard it would look, isn't it? How awkward it will look. So similarly, in your job application also, you must leave enough space so that it looks very neat. It should look very presentable. The way you present the biodata actually talks a lot about yourself. Okay, so that way you need to leave enough space for that biodata to look neat. Underline the main points using a scale and a pencil. This is with the exam point of view I'm talking about, not your biodata. Okay, that means you need to underline whatever important points you're writing there. You need to underline so that it looks important. You need to drag the attention of the examiner to that side. Okay, so that he will know what is the important thing you have written and he will give marks for that. Okay, so if at all you don't underline, that will be like he will read the whole thing. Maybe you will lose marks for something wherein you have made a mistake. Suppose you draw a line, be forced to see the place where you have underlined. So the other mistakes what you have done may go unnoticed. Okay, so this way you ought to underline using a scale and a pencil. Then presentation should be neat. Yes, as I told here, the same thing I'm repeating here. Presentation actually should be very neat. Okay, do not scratch, do not erase or apply whitener or anything like that. So make it very neat. Then you need not have to mention any of your personal details. Okay, so all these I'm telling with the exam point of view. Okay, so yes, this will help you out in your professional way also. Okay, when you put your thing in your the professional life, when you enter there also, it is going to help you. Okay, so you are not supposed to enter your personal details. This also is with exam point of view. But when you're applying for a job, you ought to mention your personal details. Okay, so here I told you personal details means you need not have to mention your name, no phone number, nothing. Whatever you provide there will be fake only. Okay, so that is what you have to write there. Make sure you have to follow the right format. Okay, whatever the prescribed format is there, you need to maintain that and make paragraphs. Covering letter, whenever you are writing, please make sure you make it into paragraphs. Do not put everything in the same in only one paragraph. Okay, so whenever you are switching over the subject, you need to maintain, you need to divide it into paragraphs. Okay, so do not use slang or any short form. Okay, so you use short forms, right? Like I am going to, I apostrophe am, no short forms. I am, please write it in a long form only. Do not use any slang. Okay, you ought to write in proper English only. You cannot just say, oh dude, bro, all these. That slang you should not be using it. Okay, so at last we have stick to the word limit. Suppose there is a word limit given for you in the exam, please stick to that. Okay, so whenever you are applying for a job, that is left to you. Okay, so you may stick to the word limit or may not, because there you will not have any word limit there. But here when you're writing in the exam, you will have word limit wherein you need to stick to that. Okay, so this is there. These are the few tips that we saw for writing the job application. Okay, so now we will see a sample job application here. So Bal Vidya Public School, Bhilai urgently requires a postgraduate teacher to teach political science, for which they have placed an advertisement in the Bhilai Express. Okay, you are Sanjay or Sanjana, so your name is given. You need to use these names only. Sometimes there will be names given, sometimes they will not be given. You can write ABC, XYZ, anything like that. Okay, so whenever the names are given, please use the same. Okay, so address is also given, 21 Vasant Marg, Bhilai. Okay, so draft a letter including a CV applying for the advertised post. So this is the post of a teacher. Okay, so that the person is applying. So how should you write the answer here? You start with the sender's address. As I told you, this is the sender's address. That means the person who is applying, his address. So name is not written, sender's address is written first. Okay, so then comes the date. Okay, so date, as I told, it is in the prescribed format. Okay, first it will be date, then month fully, then the year. Okay, then we have the receiver's address. Okay, name and address. Here I have not written the name, but I have written the designation. Okay, so this is the receiver's address, what I am writing it here. Okay, so name and address. You need not have to write the name there. If you write the designation, that is the principal, that is enough for you. Okay, so this is the first part here, that continues here like this. So subject line you have. What is the subject line? Application for the post of postgraduate teacher. Okay, so this is the short heading kind of thing I'm writing, that is in the subject line. Okay, so then comes the salutation, sir or madam. As I told you, how do you address that person there? Okay, so this is salutation. Then in response to your advertisement in the Bhilai Express, so I have to quote from where I have taken this advertisement. Okay, Express dated February 25th. Yes, this is very important for you to tell that, because sometimes there will be that is the date given, like apply within 10 days of this advertisement or something like that. Okay, so in that case you need to write the date also. Okay, for the post of a political science teacher in your renowned school, I wish to offer my candidature. So this is just an introduction. So you're giving an intro of yourself. Okay, so why you are applying, like where did you see this advertisement and all that, so that you will be introducing here. I am enclosing a copy of my biodata, so you are informing them that there is an enclosure here for your kind perusal and consideration. So you are telling them, you are informing them something, and in the end, that is when you are closing the closing paragraph should be like, I am available for the interview on any day of your convenience. Okay, so I am not putting any conditions here. If given a chance to serve you, I assure you that I shall work utmost sincerity and dedication up to your satisfaction. So these words actually bring lot of interest in that employee's mind. Okay, so the way you present it, and here you can see there is enough place over here to make it look neat. Okay, and also the words used also, it is very formal, and make sure everything is left aligned. You can see, right, the whole thing is left aligned. Okay, so formal letter, everything will be left aligned only. So next this is complimentary, closing, salutation, then this is the name. Okay, Sanjay, Sanjana, you did not have to write both of that. Okay, so if you are Sanjay, you can write, like if you are a girl, you can write Sanjana. If you are a boy, you can write Sanjay, or if you want to use it the other way, that is also fine. Okay, so then we have this enclosure. Okay, as I told you, you need to specify that you have you have enclosed the biodata also. Okay, so this way you tell them that there is biodata that is enclosed. Now we'll go on to the biodata. Okay, this biodata is also called as curriculum vitae. Okay, so you start with the name, then father's name, all the personal details you are going to enter here, then date of birth, then also the address. You have already written the address there. It's okay, please repeat it here also. Phone number also, as I told you, please do not mention your personal number, just can mention, you know it is 10-digit number, you can just put XXX in the end. Okay, so here also some mail ID you can just provide. Then marital status is, are you married or unmarried, what's your age, what's your nationality, everything should be there. Okay, so along with this, since there is no place, I have continued here in the next slide. Then we have this academic qualification, which is very much important. Okay, so what is the qualification required? That person, if at all he is teaching for postgraduate, he should be either he should have a master's degree. Okay, also PhD is desirable. Fine. So BA political science, that person is teaching for political science, so it has to be political science only. Okay, also BA, that is, that person is a trained teacher, is what this means. Okay, then we have this hobbies. What are the hobbies? So that also will add up actually, because political science you travel and get a lot of information, so that may also help the employer. And what are your strengths? Okay, so many times if you are not qualified also, whatever your strength is, based on that an employer might desire to hire you. Okay, so this way strengths, mentioning strengths is actually very much essential. Okay, so then we have references. So here references, why is it important? That is because when you show that you know such and such a person, okay, then they will want to go back to that person, approach that person and ask about you. Okay, suppose I know a principal of a school wherein I was working. Okay, suppose I mentioned that in my CV. So presently where I am applying, that person may ask that principal, and then they can hire me if at all they get a good feedback. Okay, so it is very important for you to mention reference. At the same time, be clever enough to give a proper reference, so that the person, the place where you are applying will get a proper feedback, will get a positive feedback, so that you will be hired for a better role. Okay, so this is the reference what you have to mention over here. Okay, so this is all about the sample biodata and the job application that you are applying. So just now we saw the sample biodata and the sample job application. Okay, so just go through the recorded lecture. If at all you have any doubt, we are always there to clarify your doubt. So let us meet again with another more interesting topic in our coming session. So take care children, keep learning, stay safe. Bye-bye.